Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your chain for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Fucking like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
All right. Shout out to the fam, man. Like I've been saying for some time now. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. What's popping, fam? Shout out to the fam. Happy Saturday to the family. Good morning. Coffee with Q. This is where we in the building with Morning Saints Talk, man. We're doing it again. And shout out to the fam. Hope y'all having a fantastic start of your weekend, man. Been a pretty good week. Hope y'all had a productive week, man, as we head into this thing. Big ups to you guys. Appreciate y'all being in the stream. OG is in the building. Shout out to you. What's up, K? Good to see you. Much love to you. All right, my brother Gundam is in this thing. Jeremy, shout out to you, fam. Appreciate you. All right, much love to all the fam up in there. That's what Jerry. And they get rid of him. I hear you, OG. All right, Gundam says, can somebody re-sign this spring? Yeah, he got hurt, man. He was Quan Alexander. I picked up by the Steelers, and got hurt. I think it was last week, and Quan Alexander is done on the year. I think he had a tear of some sort, an Achilles tear that, and he was doing pretty good the last couple of years. And I want to say he got hurt. I remember seeing him getting hurt. Yeah, he suffered 5 days ago a torn Achilles tendon. Yeah, and he's done, man. He's done for the year. But it was something I was thinking that it was something that they could possibly have brought him back this past year, because it would have been a good pickup. But I don't think the Saints are interested in doing that. We made several really good moves, getting guys like Jalen Smith, and then you had Corey Littleton was here. These are solid veteran linebackers that can help any team. The Saints just don't value them as high as, say, a Zach Bowen. I mean, Zach Bowen is undefeated. He's undefeated against Jalen Smith. He's undefeated against Eric Wilson. He's undefeated against Corey Littleton. Don't matter who it is. These guys they like Zach Bowen over all of these linebackers that are way more accomplished than Zach Bowen. No disrespect to Zach Bowen, but if he does stick and stay with the Saints, it'd probably be on a cheap contract that they would bring. Dennis Allen would bring a Zach Bowen back. It's just it doesn't make any sense. Though it's things that they do to me that is not a good use of roster spots, like Adam Prentice. Why do we even have Adam Prentice? Why do we even have him? Like last week, when we had Adam Prentice, the fullback, on the team at the time, they activated him off the injury list, and all he did was get in there. I mean, he didn't even play. He didn't record a rep, according to what I was looking at. Maybe y'all seen something. But Prentice came off the IR, was activated, and didn't do anything. I mean, he wasn't. And I'm like, that slot could have been used for Keith Kirkwood, because they cut Keith Kirkwood for Prentice and didn't even use him. Didn't use him to run in front of Elvin, to block for Elvin Kamara, to help open up holes. I don't get it, man. Like, what? Why do you have this guy here? No disrespect to Adam Prentice. I'm just trying to get as much use out of all of our players as we could. If there's a fullback on your team, because a lot of people don't utilize a fullback, they'll have a tight end, a guy that plays like a third string tight end position, and they'll use him as a blocker. The Saints were so bad in terms of having a fullback that they would put our nose tackle out there and use him as a fullback. So where's Prentice at? He was back. Why didn't use him at all? I don't understand that. I don't get that. Now listen, if you got a fullback there, utilize him, help him use him in front of Elvin Kamara, use him in front of Jamal Williams, use him in front of Taysom Hill, use this guy in front of other guys to help open up holes and lanes. And if you can't do that, get somebody that can. We don't need a middle of the pack or a back end fullback. We need somebody that can blast open holes to move forward. Now, we did do the study and we did do the film work on our Patreon special for our Patreon champions. The film work is up there. We kind of broke down the Minnesota game. And let me tell you something, the Minnesota Vikings, credit to them and whoever their offensive line coach is, he was doing a phenomenal job. That line, they were doing everything correctly. I mean, they were special. You look at the film, you can actually see play by play how they played as a group. They were executing those plays flawlessly. The Saints were totally outmatched in many cases, especially during the first half of that game. And you could see how it all played out. So for our Patreon champions, you can go in there and check it out. It's an hour and some odd minutes, 20 minutes of film work. And it also showed, I wanted to study the differences between Derek Carr and Jameis Winston individually on the tape. And you could see the major difference between the two. It don't take a rocket science. You can see the tape. And I've been saying this before you even look at the tape, is that Mr. Carr is not looking over the entire field. And I don't know why. That's why his options are quite limited. He does the check down and all this kind of stuff. There are guys running free with their head. Was one play where he checked it down to Jamal Williams or Elvin Kamara, I forget, because he checks it down so much. There was a guy running free with his hands up, toward the right sideline. It was a touchdown. He had a guy beat, but he didn't even see him because he don't cycle the field. But Josh Dobbs does. We watched Josh Dobbs on film cycle the field, sometimes twice, and got the ball away. So it's fundamental issues. It's not like he's not playing bad. He's just not doing what you're supposed to do. And it's really puzzling to me that Carr, who's a 10-year veteran, is not even going through full progressions. He's not even getting pass rushed. He's having time and simply is looking at half the field, not looking at the full field, looking middle to left or middle to right, and then checks it down. He's not even seeing all these guys running around free. And it's like, dude, what are you doing? It's like 10 years, and this guy comes here, and it's not like it. To me, it's like, what's the struggles about? He's not doing what a fundamentally good quarterback does, and the film supports it. He's not looking everywhere. He's not looking. So if you look and you see the whole field, you can see that guy to the right streaking down the field with his hand up, as opposed to you checking it down to this other fellow for 10 yards, 5 yards, and it's a streaking wide receiver with his hand up. Oh, my bad, I didn't see. You didn't see him because you're not doing what good quarterbacks do. You don't cycle the field. And until he does that, man, that is so puzzling that dude doing that, man. That is so puzzling. It's really puzzling that he's doing that, man. It really is. I don't know what I could say about that, family. Like, I don't know what I could say about watching a $150 million quarterback don't even cycle the field. I don't know what to say about that. He's not getting pressured, and he just chooses bad fundamental technique all across the board to just not look at the full field. And then when he throws balls, a lot of times the ball sails over people's head. Like the first throw he threw to Michael Thomas, it was too high, and the dude popped Michael in his back. He had to drop the ball. He put him in the compromising position. And he does that a lot. So, I mean, you're not going, and I hate to say it, but you're not, until this dude cleans up these basic quarterback issues, Dude, this man don't even cycle through the field. Josh Dobbs was cycling the field. That's how he was finding all those targets. There are people open out there. He doesn't even cycle through. How can I get $150 million quarterback to understand that you need to look at the full field before you make a throw? Good grief, man. Good grief. That's a fundamental piece in the building of a good quarterback. You got a guy that don't even look at half the field. I don't know what to say about that. They got college quarterbacks right now that know better to go through their progressions. And you got this guy been in the league for 10 years and he's not even seeing the whole field. That's why he's struggling. The tape supports it. So it's crazy. But anyway, we're gonna dig into several articles today. And shout out to the fam. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to share the show on the social media feed. And the family member saying Q, he terrified out there. I don't know if he's terrified. He don't look terrified to me. He just looks unfundamental is the problem, bro. That's the thing. I don't. He's not scared out there. His eyes are always bucking because that's how he looks. He got big bucking eyes all the time. He walk around with big bucking ass eyes. So I mean, he's not scared. He's just not. He's not fundamentally good in terms of going through. You can't. You severely compromising yourself as a quarterback and your team's success by not looking at the full field, not only just looking, but reading where you're looking around to see if you can find the right person to go to. And if you got guys that are running with their hands up and saying, I got me, and you don't even look in a direction, you stare. And then many cases, he stares guys down. He don't even, occasionally he'll pump fake to one side and then, go to the center. But you don't see him pump faking enough because you need to do that because they're cheating. They're reading his eyes. And the dude would just come out of the huddle and stare down the guy and force the ball to him. $150 million quarterback not supposed to stare people down and not supposed to go through half his progressions. Just saying, man. Not just it's ridiculous. He's not even seeing the field. I mean, it's like, Hugh, is that true? He's not seeing the field, family. I was looking at the tape. I see it during the live time. They're saying, what's wrong with Carr? Carr's not doing what he's supposed to do. Mr. Carr's not looking over the full field. He's not going through the progressions. The offensive line buys him time and he looks at half the field, center to half the field, and then forces the ball in that half of the center area. He doesn't see the other guy streaking down the field. He doesn't see it. He's not looking over there. I don't know why he's not doing that, but he's not doing it. And that's too much money to be paying a dude who don't even know he's supposed to go through his progressions. He has time to do it. And the majority of the time, the dude is in the goddamn shotgun. He's in the shotgun the majority of the time. So how can you not go to your progressions? The shotgun is designed where you have more allotted time to see the field and you still not cycling through the progressions. Man, I don't know. I don't know who our quarterback coach is. Who is it? Who's the quarterback coach? Is that Curry? Who's our QB coach? Whoever it is, I think that's Curry. I know he's the passing game coordinator. I think Ronald Curry is also the quarterback's coach and the passing game coordinator. But something need to be said for that, man. How if we trust in their commentary and we know these guys are good at what they do, how is he not? I'm pretty sure he's telling them that. But it's like every game, the guy's not going through his full progressions. He's missing half the field, staring down guys out there. Just terrible, unfundamental style of play and paying a guy $150 million. And I ain't trying to disparage the guy. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing and how they got quarterbacks in the NFL and in college right now that's doing better. It has better technique than Derek Carr does. Carr's technique sucks. It stinks because it's unfundamental. And he said, we got to do better. We got to do a better job. Some asshole was in the comment section saying, oh, man, you 10 minutes of me talking about Carr and how he talks and everything. That's how we do it at Tacoma. Take your smell ass somewhere else and go watch somebody else that feeds you some BS about, oh, the team's going to be fine and all this. Take your ass somewhere else, man. Time for that. That's how we rock over here in the sports coma. Dust their ass. But the reality is Carr is not, and it's like he's going to do better. How is he going to get and do better when people need to tell a guy to focus on the entire field, look through the entire field, Now, do we really have to tell this dude that? They got college quarterbacks that's doing that. Jaden Daniels is doing that right now. Pratt is doing that right now. For Tulane, they cycle the field, man. They cycle the field. It's not a hard game, man. They cycle the field. So it is what it is, man. But let's keep it going, man. Shout out to you, Tasha. Thank you for being a member for the last 34 months. Shout out to my girl Tasha and Sean, man. Much love to the fam. Appreciate y'all kindly. Traders Playbook says Carr makes us appreciate Breeze even more. Game, yeah, and Breeze be, he got a channel 9. He be looking at it. He kind of doing what Chase Daniels did, and the other quarterback they used to play. JT Sullivan wasn't really that good playing for us. He was like a third string quarterback. He wasn't anything. He wasn't anything like like a Chase Daniels. Chase Daniels supposed to be the heir apparent to Drew. And what ultimately happened with Chase got paid. And people was for a period of time. Chase Daniel was like the highest paid backup in the game. Saints wasn't going to pay him that kind of money. But Chase Daniels is a smart quarterback, knows what he's doing, had a lot of success in Missouri, knows the Saints offense very well. JT knows it too. But man, it is what it is. But yeah, thank you, bro, for that. Yeah, when you look at Drew Brees, man, because we knew that he makes it hard on quarterbacks that come, that follow him, because Drew Brees knew how to do it. Drew Brees cycled through progressions. Drew Brees explained to people what a clock is. Drew Brees will tell you that there's a clock in your head and a lot of period of time that you have to throw the ball. He would do that. He would say, listen, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, and get rid of the ball. He understood that you didn't have forever in the day to stand back there in the pocket like Carr does. He has no clock in his head, no concept of time, no real pocket awareness of protection and awareness of his what's going on with the pocket. You watch the footage in the Minnesota game with Josh Dobbs. Dobbs don't even play that much, man. He was a quarterback that was predominantly a backup quarterback for years since he been in the NFL, and he comes in there and listen how you watching the game, how he is filling the pocket. I mean, the pocket is moving, its adjustment. Saints are trying to get to him. He's moving around. He feels the pocket. He sees the motions. He's able to scramble out and make plays. Our $150 million quarterback doesn't do it. And whether they won't protect him or not, you can't protect him if he's operating unfundamental, and that's what he's doing, not being fundamental out there. That's why the offense looks stagnant. It's not flowing because he's not doing what it's supposed to do. And Jameis gets in there and cycles the field and make plays. When Jameis got in there in the second half and we able not only score 2 touchdowns, to also put two two-point conversions on the back of those, which is incredibly difficult to do, to get a touchdown and then a 2-point conversion, and they know you coming with it. And they were successfully able to operate that on those drives. It's very interesting, man, to see exactly how it all shapes up in the end. In the end, Jameis gets in there and the offense flow. He doesn't win the game. He makes it a little bit more entertaining for us, because it would have been a blowout if Carr wasn't knocked out of the game. They just would have ran you off the field. He made it more competitive. But the issue is, how did he look so different versus this other guy? Because he was seeing the field. He was putting the ball in the area where people could make plays. That's what he does good. And ultimately, the Saints offense just looked like what it did. So anyway, thank you, bro. Appreciate y'all for your support. Appreciate Traders Playbook. Much love.
I want to say thank you very much, picking me up and bringing me back to this one.
Yes, yeah. It's what it is, fam. Yeah. Every now and again, I'll let a couple of hot ones go, fam. Because like I've been doing this for a long time, family. I got a passionate, loving, and rough style, man. I'm a diehard. And like I said, the sports coma is not for everybody. It's for people that won't keep it real. If you won't sit up in the clouds and eat cotton candy and think the seas are made of pink rivers and all that, take your smell ass somewhere else, because you're living in a fantasy. This is the real world. And in the real world, things don't always go as planned. And you have to look at both sides of it. And that's what we do. We don't sit here and sugarcoat or placate, because many times people that do that have an agenda. They working hand in hand with these people, so they can't say too much about them without them getting their hands slapped. Do you get it? So we keep it real, because that's the voice people have. Like, most of the times you'll hear people frustrated, but you turn on the radio and listen to it, you won't hear this type of passion coming through. You won't hear that passion coming through like that, because we directly impacted, because this is our squad. So that's why the coma was created by that mere measurement. Like, these people wouldn't tell it real, so somebody got to tell it real. We gonna tell it real. So it's the collective voice of the people. That's what the sports coma represent, man. So every now and again, I let a few hot ones go. The family members know for years. I'll shoot at a Dusty. Oh, I certainly will. I got plenty of cheap ammunition, and I'm very efficient with it at shooting at Dusties. Let me tell you something. Yoshi, shout out to you, man. Appreciate you. Said you should look at the PFF play caller ranking chart. Schemata covered it. Sneaky Pete in the basement. Loomis may need to go to. Yeah, Grove. Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
I wanna say thank you very much for picking me up and bringing me back to this world.
We real over here, man. You know, what can I tell you, Gundam, bro? We real over here, man. Yeah, we real over here, bro. They more eating cotton candy and sitting rivers made of pink fluid. That's all on them, man. We go more to measure. But this is reality, man. We cope and we deal with the reality of where our team is right now. And ultimately, our team's not, even though we're leading right now, we're not looking all that fantastic right now. We got teams that are in the division that are losing, that are not very good. Carolina, I thought Carolina was a lot better than what they're showing. Carolina is a 1-8 team. Atlanta right now is struggling and fumbling and bumbling. They had an opportunity to kind of take in the day. Tampa Bay did win. They broke a 4-game losing streak. So we can't seem, if we beat Minnesota, we take a step in the right direction. So it's like, do you really want to operate? We looking at it, it's like, dude, at 10 weeks in with all of these people, 5-5 is not an ideal mark. How do we turn it around? The thing is, we got a quarterback that don't see the field, that refuses to go through progressions, totally unfundamental. We got personnel like the fullback we paying money to, but don't use the fullback. I don't understand that. How do we got a fullback that we refuse to use? And we use a nose tackle as a fullback. I don't understand what's going on here. The guy just got back. I hear you. But even when the fullback's in there, they don't even use him. They activated them. They didn't even need to activate that guy. We could have just put Keith Kirkwood in there last week along with A.T. Perry. But remember, they cut Kirkwood for the fullback they didn't use, and they had A.T. Perry running around. A.T. did some positive stuff. He caught the touchdown. He made a few passes, but he had a couple of drops that Keith Kirkwood wouldn't have dropped. There was a few plays in there. So anyway, I'm just saying I want to get the most of our personnel, man. And if we really want to change the directions and fix the team, it comes with change. And the guy that's on the screen talks a lot. He talks a lot, but he refuses to make the changes that everybody know he should make. And that's why he's a defensive coordinator and not a head coach. He was put on that stuff. He was put on that plateau by Sean Payton. Mickey Loomis foolishly did that when he wasn't supposed to. Mickey thought, to his credit, that nobody could screw this up. You had a playoff team that was loaded. You had a guy that knew Payton's philosophy that was there running the offense. And you had the defensive coordinator who had a decent defense. We sign a few more people. We keep this thing going. But he failed to recognize that you needed a head coach to still channel that. And Dennis Allen is nobody's head coach. He's nobody's head coach. So it is what it is. But let's take a look at some of this stuff right here. Saints coach Dennis Allen pledges to evaluate everything during the bye week. Do you believe this? See, that's the thing. Do we believe this? Do we believe this? All right, Gundam says, did you see this statistical data on Carmichael play calling? He's dead last. Yeah, I seen that, bro. I seen that, and that doesn't surprise me one dusty bit. Let me tell you something. It really doesn't. It doesn't surprise me one bit about that Pete Carmichael stuff. It really doesn't, bro. It really doesn't. But who's accountable? And the guy been knowing that. We've been knowing that. And it's clear, optically speaking, the offense looks disjointed. It looks frustrated. It looks inorganic. It looks terrible. It's fractured. It's almost like misfiring an engine. Sometimes it'll hit. Sometimes, a lot of times it won't. It's supposed to flow. It's supposed to flow like a endless current, smooth and efficiently with all of these people here. And it doesn't, because the guy doesn't know what he's doing. Instead of changing him and getting somebody else to do it, the guy sits on his ass and he lets it keeps going. And now we in week 10, a team 5-5, and he talking about looking for answers. This is insane. So I look right past him. I'm not asking that guy no more questions, because it's quite obvious to me and anybody that got sense that Dennis Allen is over his head. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't have the background of a successful head coach to stand on. And like I said, I'm not disparaging the guy. I'm telling the truth. I'm telling it what it is. He doesn't have the attributes needed to take this team to a playoff or even a deep playoff run. He's lacking a lot of really powerful and positive coaching traits that you would need to do that. He simply doesn't have it, and that's okay. You're not supposed to be there. Dennis Allen is not supposed to be the head coach, and Mickey Loomis should have known better. You don't, and they did this stuff. They violated the Rooney Rule by doing it, by hiring, and that's why Brian Flores kicked their teeth in on defense against the Minnesota Vikings, because they passed him over more. Here, thank you, bro. Yeah, he says, despite a 5-5 leading division, should the Saints win the division title, goes to the playoffs, does not execute how poorly the team has performed. Indeed, fam. I don't like how the team looks. I don't like how they look. So anyway, while Allen isn't singling out any particular players, he foreshadowed possible changes when the Saints return to action. Do you believe this guy, man? This guy said this before and then got up there and said that no changes are going to happen and there was supposed to be changes. And he continues to say and lie to the people and misdirect the people that changes are coming. The only change that needs to happen is at the offensive coordinator level, for real. Derek Carr really needs to be sitting down or set down or whatnot until he learns how to see the field. Are they even telling him that? That's the point and problem. The problem with the Saints offense is Carr. Is Carr on the field? Is Carr off the field? Is Carmichael? Overall, is Dennis Allen, because he refuses to make the changes. That's the problem. Dennis Allen refuses to make the changes at the offensive line, at the offensive coach level, which is Carmichael out, Curry in. Let's see how that looks. And then at the quarterback level, how are they missing so poorly on telling Carr to cycle through his progressions? And if he doesn't, we taking you out of there. We putting Jameis in there. Let's put some pressure on this guy here to do what's supposed to be done, because this man ain't even going through full progression. He ain't even looking at the whole field, bro. How you explain that, man? What NFL quarterback that makes $150 million don't even go through his full progressions? And that's why the receivers are frustrated, because running empty routes. Why am I streaking down the field with my hand up and this dude don't even look in my direction, man? He got all the time in the world. I mean, how's that go? Staring down people too? $150 million staring ass quarterback who refuses to look at the full field. That's amazing. That's a joke and a half. Saints Dennis Allen spoke this week about the need to evaluate everything. Shout out to WWL, the Stare article. During the New Orleans Saints bye week, he didn't exactly sound like someone whose team has an inside track to the postseason. Inside track on what, man? All this could flip and turn, man. They're an up and down team. With 7 games left, the Saints' outlook could be summed up as a mystifying mix of promising prospects and troubling trends. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We've been too inconsistent, Allen lamented. That's an understatement. Saints 5-5 hope to enter the bye week on a 3-game winning streak and with a sense of they're hitting their stride. Instead, they nearly got ran out of the stadium. It would have been terrible if Jameis Winston wouldn't have gotten it. If Dennis Allen had his way and Derek Carr never got hurt, the Saints would have got blown out in that game. They would have got blown out because that dude wasn't doing a damn thing. That dude being Dennis Allen and Derek Carr wasn't doing anything. They would have got ran out of there. Jameis came in there and made it a bit respectable. He did get a little too heavy-handed with throwing the ball deep and gunslinging, but he did make it more respectable. Derek Carr led, he says, run out the stadium in Minnesota, falling behind. He was 27-3 when Jameis got in the game. The Saints was on their way to a full blowout before scoring 16 straight points to make the final score look more respectable. Carr led the New Orleans Saints to just 1 field goal before getting knocked out of the game. The Saints also lost Thomas with a knee and top cornerback Marshawn Lattimore with an ankle and are not expected to be season-ending, Allen said, but were significant nonetheless. But if the loss hurt morale, it was hardly damaging to the Saints' postseason chances. They remain atop the NFC South. Furthermore, they're only one of their remaining games against a team that currently has a winning record. Don't matter because the Saints can't beat them either. It don't matter if you got a winning record or not a winning record. The team is not. If the team is not where it's, the mentality of the team is so up and down, it's so topsy-turvy, it's ridiculous. So You see a Elvin Kamara or Mike Thomas or Chris Olave or Rashid Shaheed or Taysom Hill and all these guys. You marvel at all of the talent they had on all areas of the field, but when it comes down to putting it together to win games, the Saints struggle. And they struggle for a myriad of different issues. But overall, the biggest problem with the Saints is they refusal to change. And if you won't change, then you will do the same thing over and over and over again while lying about change. We're going to change. We're going to change. And then when the time comes, media say, what you going to change? Well, there'll be no changes at this time. I'll let you know. So, I mean, this guy don't know what he's doing, man. If the loss hurt morale, what morale? What morale? Where the pride at in this team, man? Where's the pride? You got Detroit at 7-2. All right, that's hardly a daunting path to the playoffs. We can still do some special things with these guys. Saints second-year defensive back Alontae Taylor said statistically the Saints have some numbers that are flattering while others are worrisome. Their defense entered Week 11's action tied for the NFL leading takeaways with 18. And remember, the Saints had 5 takeaways in one game and won by 7 points. You know why? Because Carr couldn't capitalize on all those turnovers. That don't even make sense. You get 5 turnovers in a game and the offense went dead in the water. It was like prior to him getting knocked out of the game against Minnesota, there were 4 quarters in which the Saints didn't score a touchdown. It was 4 quarters, a full game worth of 9 touchdowns from Derek Carr's offense. Amazing. Saints have some numbers that are flattering. Okay, he says the lead the takeaways with 18, 12 interceptions, 6 fumble recovers. They rank 10th in the NFL in yards allowed, 9th in points allowed, but their 18 total sacks is tied for 26. So we'll bring in JPP. Offensively, the Saints rank 12th in yards per game, but 22nd in the third down efficiency, 8th in scoring, 24th in the red zone efficiency, converting just 48.6 of the possessions inside the opponent's 20-yard line into touchdowns. The Saints have been competitive in most of their games, but have no victories over teams that currently have a winning record. They also have lost to 2 teams, Green Bay and Tampa Bay, that entered the week with losing marks. So they're equal opportunity losers. They'll lose to a team with a good record. They'll lose to a team with a bad record. Can't get them there. And signing Carr, the Saints hope to solve the offensive woes from a year ago. So far, that hasn't happened, even though there has been good days and big plays that have demonstrated their potential to be better. Carr's 4 interceptions this season, relatively few, but his 10 touchdown passes are fewer than 18 other QBs in the NFL. 18. $150 million, though. The Saints hope that the return of Carr from a 3-game suspension to start the season would be a boost. The Saints went 2-1 while the star running back was out. They are 3-4 since his return, and he remains at his current 3.7 yards per carry. That would be a tie for a career low for the 2017 Offensive Rookie of the Year. In the Minnesota game, Elvin averaged 4.7, almost 5 yards per carry. The Saints only gave him the ball 9 times. In the second half, when Jameis was in the game, the Saints went just totally pass crazy and just went away from the run. They went totally predictable. Perhaps if you mixed in some draws when you was in the second half and you were doing the 3 to 4 play, 3 wide receivers or this or 4, you mix a little draw in there when you got them wheeling back because they know you want to throw it. Use the draw to kind of balance it here to keep them honest. The Saints went away from that. Taysom Hill was noticeably absent in the second half of the Minnesota game, by the way. Thomas, who missed most of the past 3 seasons with injuries, made it through most of his first 10 games. Credit to Michael Thomas for that. Seriously. Claps for Michael Thomas, because people thought that he wouldn't get to this point. Michael Thomas missed a lot of time. He's been healthy for these games and severely utilized, just like most of our Saints weapons. His 39 catches for 448 and a touchdown made him the 3rd most productive receiver on the club, but he has not resembled the all-pro he was in 2019 when he set an NFL record for catches in a season with 149, and it's not yet clear when he will be back. So we lose him for several games down the season, but his numbers could have been a lot better had the Saints utilized Michael Thomas. It was times when they didn't even look in his direction. They didn't even throw to him correctly. It was just a lot of craziness, and that's on your quarterback while some of these receivers' numbers are down because he's not even looking at half the field. Meanwhile, veteran defensive end Cam Jordan, who posted 10 or more sacks and 10 or more sacks 6 times in his career, hasn't been able or hasn't had fewer than 7.5 in the season since 2012. He has just 2 this season. That's very alarming. But then again, it's not, because Cam usually catches his stride. He did this a couple of years ago when he was able to amass a bunch of sacks in the back end of the season. So you can never kind of look at that with Cam, because he'll get fired up on the back end. While Allen isn't singling out any particular players, he's foreshadowed possible changes when New Orleans returns to action in Week 12 against Atlanta. The coach spoke of reviewing his team from top to bottom. I don't believe you. Quote, we've got to make sure that we're from a coaching standpoint, doing the right things and coaching the right things, and B, are the players doing what they're coaching them to do? Allen said, and certainly if players are not doing the things we're coaching them to do at the level we need them to do it at, then yeah, we do have to consider some changes, end quote. Do you believe that? Do you believe that? We've heard this before. And in his taking Dennis Allen's statement that is there, taking this statement that is here, we've got to make sure that we're from a coaching standpoint, doing the right things and coaching the right things. No, you're not doing the right things and coaching the right things, because something's wrong, because Derek Carr is not looking over the entire field. Derek Carr on tape, you can see it on the film, the all 22, that he is staring guys down, that he's only looking from center to left or from center to right. He's not progressing or cycling through his progressions to see the entire palette of people that are running out there. He's not doing that, and he's not doing that consistently. So whether the coaches like Curry, who is the QB coach, has to see that, and if he's not telling, I don't know how you can look at a film, how you can look at the film and see the dude looking at half the field and staring people down and not get on them for that. Like, dude, you cannot stare guys down. And if you like what you like to the left and you go into the receiver to the left, at least look right, pump to the right and go back to the left so you can freeze personnel, because they study in your eyes. If you throwing the ball to where you're looking, guys are so fast, they'll jump the route and make a pick on you. They'll make a play on the ball. So you gotta have a little deception out there. If you want to go left to Olave or whatever, you got to look right, pump right, then cycle back to left to get the guy that you want. At least you freeze these guys and make them think that you're going there. So Curry, if you look at the tape is showing he's not going all the way through these progressions, and he has time out there. You can't say, hey, Q, he's getting his brains beat out because he's doing such and such. The time that Derek Carr got sacked, right? The time he got sacked in the game when the team sacked him, was he stood up there in that pocket and held that ball way too long. He has no clock in his head to get rid of the ball. I don't know what he's doing or what he's thinking, but it's not the correct process that's needed to win games consistently for the New Orleans Saints. Let me tell you, that's Raider junk. We don't need that here. You need to have a clock in your head, and you have to be able to get to these guys, cycle through progressions, which is stuff you supposed to have learned in high school, bro. Hell, I'm taking it back to playground ball. Even all quarterbacks know. How you gonna know who's the best wide receiver or running back or tight end to throw to if you don't see the whole field, man? And the dude, he does it a lot. He does it a lot. It's not like 1 or 2 times he'll look to the left, and he does it at least on the Minnesota tape. At least half of the times he doesn't look through the entire field when he's out there. At least half the time. That's very troublesome. So I don't know if Curry sees it or Carmichael sees it and they're saying he's not reacting to it. This leads us to comment B from Dennis Allen, which then says, and B, are the players doing what they're coaching them to do? And certainly if players are not doing the things we're coaching them to do at the level we need them to do it, then yeah, we do consider some changes. When and how? I just told you this man, you know what he's doing. They're gonna turn a blind eye to it because they don't want to look crazy for giving a man $150 million who can't even look over the field consistently. $150 million, not even look over the full field, and you have time. The check down master, dude. So do I believe Dennis Allen makes the changes? Shout out to WWL. It was a pretty good article. No, I don't think he's gonna make the changes. Absolutely not. Dennis Allen is not going to make these perceived changes. He's not. He said this before, and he said he's a liar, man. That's just what he is. He's a liar. Jameis called him a liar. He's been a liar. He won't change. He said that he will make changes, and the only two changes he needs to make to turn the team around is one, Pete Carmichael needs to not call plays for the Saints. Somebody else needs to do it. And number two, they need to change at the quarterback position, because the quarterback they paid all this money to is not even going over the full field. He's staring guys down. He's the big problem why the Saints offense is disjointed, is back ass. There's no connection there. Week 10, guys are on the wrong page. He can't get the guy to run his routes. They're still in week 10. Is still communication issues. Week 10. Week number 10, he's still not on the same page with his wide receivers. You got to cut this way. But Jameis gets out there and put 2 touchdowns on the board and drives where he was out there 27-3. Turned the team over to Jameis 27-3. Couldn't get the offense out of the mud, stinking it up, 3 and outs all over the place. Josh Dobbs, a guy that make less than 1% of what he makes, and he out there tearing them up, outperforming them, running around on them, finding his tight ends and wide receivers and pocket awareness and every damn thing. I mean, good grief. Can we get that guy? Give me somebody that know how to look over the field, please. This was a bad choice getting that guy here, man. Very bad choice. And looking at the field, like, dude, he wasn't like this with the Raiders. He actually looked over the field. Why now you don't see the whole field when you come to New Orleans? I don't understand that, because he was actually going over his progressions with the Raiders. How do you come here and get worse? I don't understand. Anyway, and of course, the sign of Saints sign, we knew this several days back, Pierre-Paul to the team, and what Pierre-Paul brings, man. Of course, we talked about the pass rushing from the Saints and how it is not doing, very well, and it kind of attributes itself to a lot of the from the defensive perspective. Well, we can't get home. The Saints can't get home to get these guys, these quarterbacks on the ground. They're allowing these quarterbacks to leak out and run all over them. JPP is like in his mid-30s, but he's a guy that can come up off the bench and help you make some plays. He's a guy that you can move in there if you use him correctly, who can provide some pass rushing aid there. He's also a guy that can maybe be a good influence. So some of our young defensive ends, like Carl Granderson, is really good. Whenever Peyton Turner gets up off the IR, Isaiah Foskey, these guys, both of them are banged up. Perhaps he can kind of, with all of the valuable stuff that he done brung over the years, maybe they can, a little his positive game and technique can play off on them, because JPP is a force. He always been a force, and having him with the Saints and coming in off the bench to help us, man, that's a positive in my book. We just need, from an offensive standpoint, to kind of make some changes, man, and offensively speaking, because that's the big component of this. So I'm really a positive move by the Saints to get a guy like JPP. It helps out in the pass rush. So I'm not upset about that. I actually think that's a positive, man. All right. So anyway, let's move into this article right here from The Wire, man. And they're dropping some good science. They have the good idea. They did like a 2023 midseason awards. They did the Saints MVP, the comeback player of the year, and stuff like that. The mid-season awards, which is pretty popular. It was a good idea. And what they did was they said Saints on their bye week, so it's a good opportunity to take a look at the first half of the season. The first 10 games, honestly, we're past the midway point on the schedule, but there are still 7 games left to play. And postseason, hopefully, and the bye week is a great time to practice a little retrospection. So with that in mind, here's some of the picks. You got most valuable player, breakout player of the year, most improved player, comeback player of the year, and rookie of the year. It's a really good idea. So let me do this with the family members in the chat. Number one, let me ask you to, number one, if you hadn't hit the like button for me. Number two, I'm going to get you guys idea on some of these players. So let's do this. All right, we're going to start off with the most valuable player. Let's hear it. Y'all put in the chat who you believe the most valuable player for the Saints is at this halfway point at the bye week. Y'all put it in the chat. Let me know who you guys think the most valuable player is for the team at the halfway point. Y'all put it in the chat. Let me know. Now in the article, they have some different people that they kind of throw at. There's Elvin Kamara they throw at there. Elvin Kamara is a good call on it. Taysom Hill's another one somebody threw out there. Demario Davis. is another guy. Who do you guys think at this point is the MV? We're going to start with at the most valuable player. Which one of these guys to you is the most valuable player? All right. Okay. Okay. We got some good ones here. Okay. Paulson Adebo. Gundam says, okay, good. Yeah, that wasn't listed in the article. Somebody put Demario Davis. Even though Demario Davis is doing pretty decently, I think other people are kind of outshining Demario Davis at this point. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Paulson Adebo Gundam is a really good one. All right. Who else we got? Barbara says Adebo. Thank you. KK, what's happening? All right, Adebo. Clint says is Olave. Wendell says is Adebo. All right, cool. Tyrone said Rashid Shaheed. Okay. Tragic says Adebo. Okay, Debo's a really good, solid choice right there. So we're gonna look at that. Look like a lot of the family members, Adebo's gonna win by default. So we kind of looking at that thing. I guess we could kind of handle it like a yeah. There go T Roy. He says Adebo. So look like Adebo wins the most valuable player at the bye week so far. So yes, Ace, a shout out to you, says Adebo. Okay, appreciate you, fam. Appreciate you. All right. So okay, Eric says Granderson. Yeah, that's one Granderson charge right there. I was thinking Granderson too, 5.5 sacks. But what Paulson Adebo has did has been really good. Who that says Paulson Adebo? Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. All right. Rock, shout out to my guy, Rock, man. He's a Carolina Panther family member. He says the Saints family members. Yes, yes. I like that one, Rock. Shout out to you, brother. All right. So yeah, man. So look like so Paulson Adebo, obviously. All right. I see you, Drip Fam. G Fly Drip Fam says Mr. Taysom. Okay, thank you, fam. I appreciate you. But look like Adebo is going to get the most valuable player of the year. The family members in the chat says Adebo. So Adebo gets the most votes. He wins the most valuable player of the year. And I can get that. Has been playing really well. And now with a Laddie Daddy out, he got to get to that CB1, man. He's going to bump it up to CB1. Alante Taylor is going to bump it up there. So it's going to be interesting to see how all that happens moving forward, man. We need to kind of watch out. Yeah, Eric says can't complain. Adebo, it's a good call. Adebo is a real good call. All right, family. So let's move to the next one. Breakout player of the year. Who are you guys breakout player of the year? Y'all put it in the chat. Let me know who's the breakout player of the year. All right. And a couple of the candidates that the Wire puts up is Rashid Shaheed. I like that. Carl Granderson with 5.5. At this point, remember, he had 5.5 last year for a full season. Carl has that right now. So he could very well be on par or on pace he's on pace for a 10-sack season. So if that carries on what is doing, Carl Granderson could have 10 sacks by the end of the year. Rashid Shaheed looked really good too. So who do you guys have for the breakout player of the year? Who's your call on breakout player of the year? All right. Who you got? All right. Barbara says it's Granderson. Okay, thank you, Barbara. Shout out to you. Asa says Jordan Howden. You think Howden is the guy? Okay. All right. Who else we got? Who that says Granderson? So does T Roy. All right. Brother Gundam says Granderson, hands down. Okay. All right. What's up, Randolph? My dog Randolph says it's Taysom Hill. All right. Eric says Granderson. Clint says Granderson. All right. Robert says defense, Adebo, offense, Hill. Okay. OG, what's popping, bro? Says Shaheed. Okay, cool. All right. We got a lot of Granderson in there, man. A lot of Granderson votes going on. Granderson leading the vote for breakout player of the year. I mean, you can't dispute. I mean, Rashid Shaheed's been doing a phenomenal job offensively speaking, but really, you look at Carl Granderson, 5.5 sacks. And then, the sack count is one of the biggest, in the NFL. You got how many sacks you have, and then wide receivers, touchdowns, catches, and then of course the sack total, quarterback touchdown throws, stuff like that. But you talk defense and sacks. Carl had 5.5 for the full year last year as a backup for most of the time. He has 5.5 now, on pace for 10 sacks, a 10+ sack season if everything rolls the way it was going to be. And I don't know. I don't know, fam. So let's see. Yeah. Group A is it's definitely Granderson. So Granderson would be the dude. All right, Granderson would be the dude. All right, so let's move on to the comeback player of the year, right? Comeback player of the year. Who is the comeback player of the year? So number one, we got Granderson with comeback player of the year. I mean, with the what was it? The I don't know, I already forgot it. So yeah, let's recap right quick, man. We had most valuable player of the year. That's Paul. I mean, of the season halfway point. That's Paulson Adebo. The family members voted Adebo. Breakout player of the year was, who was it? Granderson. People said it was Granderson. And who would be the comeback player of the year? Who's the comeback player of the year? Who's the comeback player of the year? Y'all put it in the chat. Gundam says it's Michael Thomas. Barbara says Mike Thomas. Okay, cool. All right. Who's the, okay, Clint. All right. A lot of MT comeback player of the year. And that's hard pressed. I think he got to be the clear runaway favorite for the comeback player of the year for the Saints after missing all those years. And then ultimately what you end up doing is you got to bring he comes back and he plays some years for you after missing all them injured field years, and he has some good production. So he's hurt right now, sad to say, but it's hard pressed to kind of look at Michael Thomas up to this point and say that he's not the comeback player of the year. And look like hands down, the family members are going to vote Michael Thomas in there. Look like he's going to win it clear. Dave says it's MT too. All right, Gundam says Thomas showed tremendous leadership for the young. Yeah, indeed. Brick Thomas. Yes. So yeah, Tyrone said Jameis. So yeah, it looked like Mike is gonna run hand down with it. Inevitable says if Thomas missed significant time, may end up being A.T. Perry. Yeah, well, you got Keith Kirkwood there to help out too. So yeah, there you go. So Michael Thomas, there you go. So the family members really running away with it, man. And of course, who's the most improved player? Who's the most improved player? Who's the most improved player up to this point for the Saints? A lot of could it be Adebo? He's really much improved. Is it a lot? Is it Rashid Shaheed? To me, it's between Rashid Shaheed and Paulson Adebo. I mean, so who do you guys think the most improved player is? Who's the most improved? All right, Barbara has a Shaheed. Okay, good. All right. Adebo says Gundam. Yeah, Adebo could possibly win too. All right, it's going to be a toss-up between these two. I could tell you off top. Watch this. T. Roy says Shaheed. All right, Rob says Michael Thomas. Okay, so Mike, he gives most improved player. This is for the most improved player now. All right, Asa says it's Adebo. KK says it's Shaheed. It's going to be a toss-up between both of them. Watch. It's going to be a toss-up between both of them. Tyrone says both. Yeah, it's hard to pick between the two. Paulson Adebo has really stepped it up. Remember, this is just up to this point. These are just awards up to the middle portion of the season. It's not full season stuff, obviously, but yes, you're hard pressed to try to separate them. All right, who that says Rashid Shaheed? Thank you. All right, brother Eric says it's Shaheed. All right, so a slight edge for Shaheed right now. Slight edge. Robert says comebacks is Michael Thomas. Right. Yep. But like I said, yeah, you ain't kidding. You ain't kidding about it. It's comeback player of the year is definitely Mike Thomas, man. So we got that straight. But who's the most improved player? All right, Adebo says Dave, or thank you, sir. Rock says, well, it ain't Jameis. Okay, thank you, man. All right, Corey. Okay, what's up, Corey? He says Pete. Pete is the most improved. Okay, that's a unique one. All right. Okay, shout out to you. Argentine Dogo says, I've been disgusted with the Saints for a few years now, Q. I'm still an avid listener. I just don't do much commenting. You're on point with this team. I refuse to root for them until it changes. Wow. Powerful sentiment, my friend. Thank you for sharing it with us, man. And the Great Saint Think Tank definitely shares in with a lot of what you're saying, man. We are physically, mentally frustrated with the direction of the Saints, how things are handled or not handled, how things, how it's quite obvious this guy that's on top of the team at the head coach level is not a real head coach. He doesn't have the attributes needed to guide this team or the resume to do it. He is not that guy. He's not cut from the cloth of a good head coach. He is merely a coordinator. There's nothing wrong with that. He can be a coordinator on a good team, but we definitely agree with what you're saying. Thank you, sir. All right, so Inevitable says comeback is Thomas. All right, then you got Andrews Kelvin. Okay, so two Andrews Pete's. All right, that's a unique one there. So to come back to most improved players, they're giving it to Andrews Pete. So I'm gonna have to say though, fam, look like based on what the tally is Rashid Shaheed is going to ultimately win the most improved player of the halfway mark here. All right, so let's move on to I think this is the last one, is rookie of the year. I think that's the final one right there. All right, who to you guys? Let's hear it, family. Give me the rookie of the year. Who's the rookie of the year in your estimations? All right, and just to let some of the family members know, Brian Bresee is one of those guys. You got Jordan Howden, and really not a lot else to kind of talk about there. But who are you guys rookie of the year? Let's go rookie of the year to you guys. Let's hear it. Gundam says Howden all day shows great intelligence and maturity. All right. Barbara says Brazil. All right, thank you there. Appreciate you. So we got Howden, Shaheed. And I think he's saying something else. Brazil is another. Okay, get Howden. Okay. So we got a few of them. Howden, Asa says Howden. Tragic says Howden. Okay, damn. All right. All right. Jordan Howden is leading it. All right. Corey says Howden. All right. Damn. All right. Dave says Bresee. Yeah, look like Howden is slightly ahead of Brian Bresee right now. Let me see. 1, 2, 3 for Brian Bresee. Well, that's actually 4 for Brian Bresee. And let's see. Howden has 1, 2, 3, 4. So what is it? 4-4 right now? Bresee and Howden. All right, let's get some more family members to chime in to break this tie right here. What do you guys think? Who's the rookie of the year at this point of the season for the Saints? And of course, we might have Brian Bresee. There's Jordan Howden. Who do you guys like? Who do you make the call? This right now is evened up right now. Who do you need some more people to break the tie on this thing? Who you got? Chime in, family. Who y'all got for rookie of the year for the Saints right now? Who's the rookie of the year? You know, I don't know. That's Jordan Howden is a good call though. To me, I like Brian Bresee. I like how he's been playing. He got to turn it up. I think he does step it up here because he to me, I think Brian Bresee gets a lot more opportunities to perform. We know that he's a first round draft pick, and they're going to give him opportunities because eventually they want Brian Bresee to step into a larger starter's role and play. But we'll see. All right, here comes some more. Okay, KK says Bresee, and that they gonna break the tie right there. OG says Brian Bresee. All right, so Brian Bresee kind of leans ahead. He took the lead over Jordan Howden. I like both our young rookies, man. Howden is going to be the future of the team, man. He's the future of the safety position back there. We looking pretty good with that. Brian Bresee. All right, thank you, Dave. Dave says Bresee. All right, so there you go. So Bresee pulls ahead, man. So so there you go. So we got the Brian Bresee. So let's kind of go over it again, family, kind of do our estimation, kind of a summary of the players of our mid-season awards. Shout out to The Wire. They had a really good idea to do this. Most valuable player so far at this point, the family members chose Paulson Adebo. So at this point, the most valuable player is Paulson Adebo. According to the Who Dat Nation, the Great Saint Think Tank, they chimed in. Most valuable player at this point is Paulson Adebo. So that was a good call. The breakout player of the year was who was I forgot already, man. Who was the breakout player of the year for Carl Granderson? That's who it was. I think it was Granderson. Yeah, Carl Granderson. So most valuable player of the year was Paulson Adebo. The breakout player of the year was Carl Granderson. The most improved player of the year was remind me, family, who was the most improved player of the year for our year right now? Most improved player, was it Rashid Shaheed? Yeah, I think it was Rashid. It was Rashid Shaheed. So most valuable player was Paulson. The breakout player of the year was Carl Granderson. Most improved player was Rashid Shaheed. Comeback player of the year was Michael Thomas. And rookie of the year right now is Brian Bresee. So that is the list right there from the Great Saint Think Tank chimed in on it. Once again, the most valuable player up to this point, as voted by the Who Dat Nation, the Great Saint Think Tank, is Paulson Adebo. The breakout player of the year is Carl Granderson. The most improved player of the year is Rashid Shaheed. The comeback player of the year is Michael Thomas. and the rookie of the year is Brian Bresee. So there you go, fam. So that was pretty fun to get the thought process on the family members about that. Yes, indeed. So indeed. All right, Hemisphere says, unfortunately, our coaching staff does not know how to use people properly or correctly. I wanted to see how the rookie running back does, but he has hardly been used much at all. Yeah. That's unfortunate because he's been uh he's been in the game, but I ain't gonna say I was disappointed in him because he's been dealing with injuries. He was banged up prior to the regular season. He got banged up inside of the season. He's been having, fighting with these different little nagging issues. Right now, he's currently hurt. So, yeah, he gets an opportunity to get in there. And I was really excited how the Saints used the three running backs. Like they had, it was a game where they used all three, including Taysom Hill, which would make four people in the full power of the running back room, and they have I ain't gonna say they have a low IQ, but it's a part of it. They have bad memories. They have their memories bad. Like they can't take things that work from a previous game and add it into the game that they plan. It's like they scrap everything. Every game they scrap it all and they start anew. That's what it seems like to me because like when how they beat the Patriots, how they were able to run all over the whatchamacallits, how they had the 100 and what was it, 60 something yards rushing, and they had, in the game where they used everybody. They used all of the running backs, Kamara, Jamal Williams, Taysom, everybody. And they just had a lot of great success there. And then they go to the next game and they simply have memory loss, amnesia, and they scrap everything and start again. And usually you're supposed to keep what works because obviously what was working offensively speaking for the team, they were feeling it. They were jiving on it. They were, that was a good play that they really felt good with running. They knew that play and operated it well. The Saints go away from that stuff and scrap it almost like it feels like every game it's a different thing they do. They don't very rarely do they bring over things that really work really well and continue to use them. Like they had the great thought process in one of the games to kick into the 2-minute offense when things stall a bit. They didn't do that at all in the first quarter in the Minnesota game. Not at all. And they seen the offense was struggling bad. And the score was 27-3 and they still wasn't doing it. How do you explain that? And they come and they said in press conference, well, when we struggle, they'll tell you everything. They'll come into press conference and we listen to all the crap. We listen to all the garbage. And that's the thing that really kind of upsets a lot of the family members too. It's like, we'll listen to a lot of the crap. We'll listen to a lot of the garbage that these guys will spew out. Right. And then they'll come into the next matchup and they'll go against what they said in the press conference. Like, it's real strange. It's like, okay, usually when you focus on something that's problematic, you're supposed to fix it and stop it. Like against the Minnesota Vikings, leading into the game, all we talked about the entire week is the Saints stopping the quarterbacks from scrambling on them, from ad-libbing, creating plays, scrambling outside of the pocket to extend plays all week long, to the point where the defensive coordinator was talking about it, Joe Woods, Cam Jordan. We played it here. They are Dennis Allen, all of them, the media, that was the main talking point the media was putting on the team was, how do you stop the running quarterback threat? We know the guy scrambles around. We know this, that, and the third. We can't let him scramble around. And then what happened? He scrambled around and they put up 27 points in the first quarter and just basically beat the Saints in the first half. They just played a half a game and was good enough to beat the Saints. The offense just went all over. The Vikings offense just tore the Saints defensive unit up, tore them up, embarrassed them, dominated the line in the first half, and they did just enough to beat the Saints in the first half by putting 27-3 by the time Jameis got in there, and then when they knocked Carr out, but they done just enough in the first half to beat the Saints for the entire game. But they were focused on stopping the QB threat. It was on their minds, and then they go out there and let them do it again. And I'm like, how is that even possible? You had it on your mind. It was a sticking point in the meetings about what we couldn't allow to happen. If it was something that we didn't know or we wasn't paying attention to, and we was watching for something else, that'd be different. But I'm telling you, that's very concerning when you are focused on something you know you're supposed to do it, and the number one priority is to stop this, and then the team that you playing know that they know that you want to stop, and they go out there and execute it, and the Saints don't even stop them. To me, I'm like, that is a very, very concerning thing. Very concerning thing. So it is, 24-3 by half. 20, if I say 27-3, they beat them by halftime. Only thing the Vikings need to do is kick a field goal in the second half to make it 27, whatever it was. And the Saints were able, they couldn't come from behind. The Vikings beat the Saints alone just in the first half. They did enough to beat them in the first half of the game. The defense did enough, and then Brian Flores' defense. That's right, Brian Flores, who Saints interviewed for a coaching job, didn't take him seriously. His defense beat the Saints. We were showing on film, family, when you watch the film, that they was watching Carr. And when Carr lift his foot ready for the snap, they would point at each other and then jump to a different position. They would literally move and shuffle themselves in front of the Saints offensive line and blitz. And it would scramble up the Saints offensive line. They don't know who to blitz, and then they would be able to get pressure. That was two of those plays when they shifted on Carr, who's seen them do it, who's like, okay, these guys are doing this. We got to adjust to what's going on. Two of those plays, the Minnesota Vikings were able to gain pressure and force an easy completion throw to Rashid Shaheed toward the left side of the field that would have been converted to a first down. And then there was another one when Carr was forced out of the pocket, and he was forced to throw an incomplete pass. But they played it. The Brian Flores defense was phenomenal. Whoever the offensive line coach was for the Minnesota Vikings, they were extremely disciplined and on code against the Saints defensive line. They were blocking splendidly. There was a touchdown run when they got to the goal line. Madison got in, standing up. Nobody touched him. It was ran flawlessly. All of it was ran flawlessly. Guys were getting off blocks. And listen, in that game, and I'm going to let it go, McCoy was awful in that game. When you watch the tape, McCoy was a joke in that game. He was awful in that game. Like, it was plays when Eric McCoy was blocking, and Eric McCoy was he was helping another offensive lineman block, and he was supposed to slide off the block to get to the next level to block the linebacker so that he can free Kamara up on the run. And what McCoy do, he stay on the blocker too long, and then when he finally jumps to go and get the linebacker, he jumps in front of Alvin Kamara, and Alvin Kamara runs into his back, and he falls down. It was just, dude, McCoy was horrible in that game, man. You watch the tape and see, I didn't notice it because I wasn't paying attention to McCoy. I was looking at Carr. But McCoy was awful in that game, man. You go back and watch the tape in the Patreon, on our Patreon channel. We did like a minute and 20 something, an hour and 20 something minute breakdown on it. And I was looking at McCoy. I was like, McCoy was off. He was a joke in that game, man. He was staying on blocks too long. He wasn't getting to the next level to block out guys. But you watch Minnesota did. Minnesota were not only getting to guys to double block guys, but sliding off of blocks to catch guys. But they was also sliding out to get to the next level to block out the linebackers, to free up the running backs to get to the second level. That's what it's all about. Saints offensive linemen are not sliding off of them defensive linemen to get to the linebackers so they can free open to that second level so Kamara can get there. That's why all those runs look more difficult to do, because you got to slide off him. If you double blocking a guy, if you blocking the defensive tackle, the guy got him, you're supposed to slide off of him to move to the next level to catch the linebacker. And that linebacker, I forgot to do, I think his name is Hicks. Hicks was balling out there. Hicks was balling because there was nobody sliding off to go and get Hicks. And Andrews Pete wasn't good either in that game. In many cases, Andrews Pete, there were times when McCoy, they would pull on screen plays. Alvin Kamara had a screen off to the left side of the field, and McCoy and Andrews Pete moved toward, and Purse was when one of those plays followed Alvin Kamara. They jump in front of him from the screen to the left side. It would have been a big gain, except the fact that McCoy didn't block anybody. He ran past two people. And Minnesota was not allowing you to break open field tackles. Those guys were tackling and making open field tackles to stop guys like Alvin Kamara from doing anything. They were wonderful at that. So I got to give Minnesota a shout out on that. But the Saints offensive line has to perform better, man, in blocking, especially when you're doing these screens. Block somebody. And McCoy, man, that was not a good look on that film, man. Eric McCoy, dude, you look terrible in that game. That was terrible. McCoy, that was one of the worst plays I've seen McCoy do in a while, when he was double blocking on the defensive tackle for the Vikings. And then at the very last minute, he seen a linebacker coming in because he knew he seen Kamara behind him. And what Eric McCoy does? He jumps in front. He obviously didn't see Alvin Kamara about to hit the lane, because the play is it. Jordan Hicks seen Kamara coming through that gap. And McCoy pulls off the lineman too late and jumps in front of Alvin Kamara. Kamara runs into his back. Jordan Hicks just stops him right there. Like, dude, come on, man. So, I mean, what's going on, Doug Marrone, with this kind of stuff here? We can't have this. Guys got to understand what they're doing here. And 10 weeks into the season, this type of stuff shouldn't be happening as frequently. Guys got to know what they're supposed to be doing. McCoy been here long enough to understand how you're double blocking somebody, and then you got to slide off that guy to go to the next level to block out Hicks so that Kamara can shoot the gap and get to the third level. I mean, it sounds like a lot, but it is what it is, right? Yeah. All right, man. So it is what it is, man. But that's some of the things that I witnessed. But y'all can see all the stuff. I mean, I covered it on the Minnesota tape on our Patreon stream. All right. So Kay says, do they really practice during the week? They say they practice during the week. They say they practice in the week. I actually seen film where where Pete Werner was actually spying on the quarterback. Like, he was trying to spy him. There's a few times you seen him spying, but just Josh Dobbs just takes off on him and scrambles to the edge. We know Pete Werner not the fastest dude in the world. I mean, we like him, but he's not the fastest linebacker in the world. And Demario Davis ain't either. Demario's getting a little old. He's solid, but but speed is not a part of their game right now. They're solid linebackers, but speed is not a part of their game. We knew that. We definitely know that. But yeah, they practice. But it's not translating consistently. They practice a lot, but it doesn't make any sense to me. Hemisphere, anyone notice that after offense goes to sideline, how often does Carr have a pad in his hands? Often he noticed he sits on the bench looking crazy, trying to see what he missed. That's what it is, because the pad gives you the overall view of, he plays back those plays and he sees the guys that he missed. That's what he does. He looks at the pad, and then it shows him everything we see on the 22 is that you got Chris Olave streaking down the right sideline with his hand open, saying, "Throw me the ball." And he's looking to the left. He's steady looking to the damn left. He never sees him. And that's the thing. It's like, it's all on film, man. It is all on film. What we looking at is all on film. So anyway, listen, fam, that's gonna do it for the stream, man, right there. Listen, any questions, man, y'all feel free to throw them into the chat, man. But I just think that at this point of the season, man, right now at 5-5, there's a lot to be looked at. Now, Dennis Allen, on the other hand, has to be able to figure out, I mean, listen, I don't know if he makes the calls, fam. I don't know. History says no, because he's, but if he's being promoted by a higher authority, and, we talking Mickey Loomis, who's above him, to promote him, that says, then I only just listen. There's a lot of pressure going on here. I just don't think you should listen. I'm just tired of it. I just think you need to make the call. Make the call. Change. Change is good. I'm wondering if Mickey having those type of conversations with Dennis Allen, because we should be at week 10 and talking about, should he or should he not make changes? Of course he should. There's enough statistical data right now that's showing that Pete Carmichael's system is not working. His version of Sean Payton's offense is failing. It is definitely showing us that much. Statistically speaking, it's not very good. It's disjointed. Optically, it's ugly. It's inconsistent. It's frustrating to not only us to watch it, but the players involved too. So I mean, 2 of our 3 starting wide receivers were arrested. I hate to laugh about it, but 2 of our 3 starting wide receivers were arrested. Within the last month. One guy was speeding because he's upset and obviously frustrated. The other guy bricking up people's shit. So I mean, I don't know what's going on here, man? You know, it's just a clear indication of frustration. So I don't know what's going on, man. All I can say, fam, is that they're frustrated like we're frustrated, man. Because you imagine we sit up here watching it from afar, and then they are there in it right there, and it's not good. So at some point we got to change the dynamic, man. We got to change it all up, man. And does Dennis Allen make the change? Is the biggest thing about it. Does he make the change? You know, Eric says he said Kamara tells you everything every game with his body language. He makes comments about some people aren't or preparing properly. That's definitely coach level. Thank you, bro. What's up, my brother T Dirty? How you doing, sir? Gundam says, question Q. Will Benson no, absolutely hell no, bro. At the end of the season, we talking about right here. I don't know if that's the case, bro. Is if Gail Benson steps up, because at the end of the season, I'm going to tell you, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I think the Saints are going to be. They're going to, like, right now they're 5-5. Dennis Allen is just. He's going to win enough games so that they can build the case to keep him. That's what's going to happen. So the team is a middle of the pack team. Now, talent wise, they're an elite team potentially, but statistically and mindset wise and how they're playing right now, this team is a middle of the pack team at best, right? They, it was documented that they lose to good teams, and the Saints are equal opportunity losers. They'll lose to a good team or a bad team. It don't make them no difference. They don't, they'll lose, and that's been showing during the season up to these 10 weeks. They lose to good teams or bad teams. It don't make a difference. Teams that's missing their starting quarterbacks, their best wide receivers. Could you imagine what the Vikings would have looked like with Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson there, and the Saints got beat like that? Could you imagine what it actually would look like if Cousins and Jefferson was playing? So I don't think Gill does anything, because they're going to wait this thing out. Dennis Allen's going to win just enough games to give the Saints a reason to be able to defend him. They'll do what they did last year. Well, they'll say, well, listen, we having progress. Last year was 7 wins. This year is 9 wins or 10 wins. And then you'll win, depending on what you do with the Atlanta Falcons, because that's your biggest competition. We'll know with Tampa Bay pick up some wins and whatever. But between those 3 teams, now, depending on how you handle Atlanta. But listen, let me tell you something. They're going to win enough games, maybe about 9 or 10 games to win the NFC South. And then what's going to ultimately happen is it's going to give them a reason to keep Dennis Allen around. And then they're going to say, Dennis Allen, well, it's in the first year. This Carr and Dennis Allen been together for the first year. So, we got to see what they look like in year 2. We've been here before, family. Y'all know that. That's what they're going to do. Well, we made progress, and let me give you. Let's go into the future where Mickey Loomis, the season has ended at 9-7 or whatever it is. The Saints make a playoff spot. They end the playoffs. They get ran out of there by the Cowboys in the first spot, but they did make the playoffs. They did break the 2-game the 2-game drought, or the several season drought, or whatever. We don't even know if they're getting the playoffs. It depends on who wins it. I don't know if they beat Atlanta. I don't know because they're up and down, man. That's the thing. So if they win 8 or 9 games, they'll win just enough games to do it. And at the end of the press conference, the end of season press conferences, and of course it won't be directly at the end of the season, depending on how the team is. If it's a bad ending to the season, then they'll disappear for about a month, and then they'll pop back up and they'll say, "Oh no, we're evaluating now. Listen, we're gonna make sure we do what we're supposed to do." And Dennis really, we had some injuries. And it's really tough in the NFL. Several teams, scored, less than 20 points a game, and the scoring is down. It's tough to score in the NFL. It's tough to win. It's tough to win and score touchdowns. So I appreciate Dennis and the team, and we'll look forward and see what areas of the team we can build on, and we're gonna move forward and we're gonna do what we can do. Okay. All right, we'll open up the comment to any questions here. Yeah. Mickey. Oh, okay. Hey, you big guy in the back right there. Yeah, you big guy. Yeah, thank you, Mickey. This is Big Q from the Sports Coma. First of all, how you doing?
Well, how you doing there, guy? I've never seen you before in here. You're new in here. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, what's your question?
Yeah, yeah. Well, Mickey, listen, why, I got two questions, right? Hold on, triplet. Be quiet, man. You asked enough questions. All right, so listen, let me ask y'all this, Mickey. Sir, Dennis Allen, or is he coming back for another year? That's number one. And the second question is, um, what's Mickey? What is Dennis Allen's contract? How many years and dollar amount on his contract? Could you answer those for me, Mickey? Thank you.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's good questions. Not softball questions. I usually want. That's okay. I'll try answer those for you, big guy. All right. Well, yeah. Well, to the Dennis Allen question. Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that. We felt that Dennis Allen he did enough. We were 7 wins last year, and now we're 9 wins this year. And we won 2 more games than what we lost last year. And that's in my book, that's called progress. Well, I know, yeah, a lot of people, it's tough to win in the NFL. It's tough to score touchdowns. Hey, I was trying to catch a touchdown. They wouldn't let me get in there, and I'm the general manager of the damn team. So it's hard to score in the NFL. So yeah, Dennis Allen, he'll stay around. We'll and on the second part of the question, and that's classified information. I can't divulge that information right now, and I, I just don't. Well, all I can say is that it's a very amicable sum, and I just with respectfully ask the Who Dat Nation not to ask us about the money dealing with Dennis Allen's contract or even the length of time. Just know that it's a good deal, and everything's good. We'll go to the draft. We'll go and we'll find out what we need to do, and we'll make the changes so we can be a better football team. All right, all right. Any more questions?
Yeah. Mickey.
Oh, is that other guy? It's Big Q again. That'll end the press conference, family. I got a doctor's appointment, and I got clam chowder that's back and behind me in my office that's getting cold, and I got to go. So
That's how Mickey it is, man. So at the end of the day, I say all that to say that Dennis Allen will stay around. Gail is not going to have nothing to do with none of that. And the reason why they holding the contract is because it's an overpriced contract that they'll be made fun of, and they'll catch a lot of flack because of that. And Dennis Allen will be back with the Saints. He'll win just enough for them to create the machine. And of course, they'll call in their favors from the different people that kind of eat with them. They'll call in some favors and ask for them to write fluff articles and stuff like this to kind of keep the pressure off them, to kind of sway you to not be that upset while they continue to bank out. So that's just some of it, how it will go right there. So anyway, all right, let me go to hit some of these questions. And Hemisphere says, Q, when will you open up the line so we can come in and share our thoughts? You know what? I'll do that right now, bro. We'll go an hour or so in there. I'll do that right now, bro. So you can share your thoughts. That is right, sir. You know what? That could have been another show, but we're going to do that right now. How about that? We'll do it right now. Give me a second. I'm going to pin the link in the chat. We're going to do a rapid fire. So please come in. Please respect everybody. I want to get to hear everybody's thoughts. Try to keep it as clean as you possibly can. I know you're frustrated. Don't be like me.
don't be like that guy. I want to tell you. Boy, he cuts loose. He calls somebody Dusty on the damn show. Oh my God. Dusty. That's terrible. That Dusty ass or something like that. I know what that means. I'm Mickey. I don't get that. I'll just say the guy's a nincompoop. I'm Three Stooges. I like the Three Stooges. But he called the guy a Dusty. I don't know what the hell that is. Oh my God.
All right, so hold on, fam. I'm about to pin it in the chat so the family members can chime in and spread their knowledge and get a little air out, man. We're going to talk about it here, man. Hold on here. Let me get this in here. All right, there it is right there. Put it up there. All right, we can do that right now. I'm going to pin it too. All right, hold on. Let me see if I can pin this here. All right, there we go. All right, it's pinned to the chat, fam. Y'all want to pop in and chime in. Remember, we're gonna do it for about an hour. I got a few things I got to do to prepare. All right, Randolph. All right, cool. My dog Randolph says he's gonna pop in. Always good to hear from my brother Randolph. He doing good work on the stream. Gundam says Mickey Loomis is so deceptive, steadily double speaks. Yeah, y'all heard me. I asked him that question, fam. I'll try to get him on that, bro. I'll try to get him to tell me. Yeah, is that what he sounds like, Rock? That's what he sounds like. Oh man, so you mean Mickey and Frank Wright sound the same? Frank Wright looks like a gym teacher. He looks like your high school gym teacher. That's what Frank Wright looked like to me, that old gym teacher. All right. So anyway, y'all, that's the links pinned to the chat. Y'all could pop in, man, and share y'all thoughts. Let me know how y'all feel about what's going on, man. Get it off your chest, man, on this Saturday morning. Coffee with Q. Yeah, if you're drinking your coffee and laughing and kicking it, that's all good, man. We're going to have some fun with it. And we're going to talk about something, baby. We're going to talk about it all to here. So anyway, shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all, man, for what y'all doing, how y'all doing it, baby. And we're going to bring in a few family members. Brent, how you doing, sir? Welcome on in.
Morning, man. How are y'all?
Doing good, bro. How you feel about the Saints at this midway point, my friend?
I don't know who needs the bye week, the Who Dat Nation or the rest of them,
I think we do, bro. I know we banged
Yeah.
the Saints are banged up pretty good. Michael Thomas and you have Lattimore, man, and it's good to kind of for them to kind of settle down a bit. But do you believe these comments by Dennis Allen saying that he's going to make some changes and do all this kind of old stuff? What you think about that?
I heard something. I bet you heard it also yesterday. I was doing some work and I had another podcast I was listening to, a short one, and he played us. It may have been the most recent interview with DA, and he was saying that we need, and we know that he slipped up and accidentally got his words completely the opposite of what he was supposed to say when he said we need more inconsistency. I can't even say it. We need to be more inconsistent is what he was saying, which I commented the other day about if you're too consistent, well, you're too predictable. So if you're in a battle or in a game and competing, do you really want to be very predictable? I think consistency is a word that's just getting thrown around as a little feel good word to say, oh, we're going to improve. We're going to be more consistent. Well, what does that even mean? Consistent which way? You're 500. What do you mean consistent? That's my question. But did you hear that clip of him?
Yeah, and that's the thing which creates so much turmoil and mindset of when you hear the coach waffle like that. You hear him saying changes, you hear him saying this kind of stuff, you hear him saying some of the craziest stuff in the world, like halftime adjustments is overrated. That's just do your damn job, man. He got on Duncan for that, and then the next person that comes out is a Paulson the Debo that says that we got to make the halftime. We had made halftime adjustment. Got to make the adjustments. So I mean, it's just he's kind of all over the place with his stuff, and it's kind of he's not read, but I don't really trust Dennis Allen to do what he said he's going to do.
No,
I just like that, Brent.
No, and don't we make adjustments every play? So
yes.
If you're making a play call, isn't that an adjustment every play? If you're making an adjustment every play, what's wrong with making a halftime adjustment?
Dennis Allen said they're overrated. That you got to do your
I guess making play calls are overrated too. You know what I mean? Putting your weapons on the field. That's overrated too, I guess.
Yeah. Well, Brent, you're bringing up some good points on that, my man. And it's just frustrating, man, because you can see the guys, the team is frustrated, the family base is frustrated, and we just want them to do the right thing, man. We just want
now look, Big Q, don't make me go get my clam chowder, Big Q.
Oh, hold on now. Let me tell you something. Hold on. Let me tell you. I had to get up off of that. The press conference. He had to be a toughie right there. That was tough. That was a tough one.
All right, Brent, but listen, man, last thoughts, bro. We got another caller, but listen, appreciate you, man.
Yeah. Thank y'all, man. I appreciate the show and the therapy this morning. And it's morning where I'm at anyway. I'm in the Redwood Forest here in California. Let me see if y'all can see it on through the window here. Let's see.
Yeah, look at that, man. Oh yeah, yeah. That's you got a nice day going on out there, Brent.
Well, it's rainy, man. I thought I was leaving the rain in the Louisiana swamps when I came out here, but it's rainy here too sometimes, you know?
Yeah, it's beautiful though out there, man. I've been out there
Yeah.
sometimes,
Yeah.
man. It's very nice
Yeah.
out there. Just
Yeah.
high. It's very expensive though, but it's very
Oh,
nice.
yeah. Yeah.
But thanks.
Well,
Yeah,
okay. We'll be tuning in, man. Appreciate the show. Y'all enjoy your weekend and your therapy, and we'll get through this.
same here, my brother. Thank you, man. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you.
Good, man.
All right, that's man. Appreciate Brent, man. He always support the stream, man. Shout out to Brent as well, man. I just seen he sent a cash app. He said for good morning to the fam. Come on, man. All right, DA is the comeback of the year. DA is the comeback player of the year. All right, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, bro, come on now,
Brent.
dog. Come on, man.
Come on, man. We're gonna bring in Randolph to the stream. Thank you, Brett. Shout out to you. What's up, Randolph? How you doing, sir?
Man, what's going on, Q? What's going on, family? Man, listen.
Good, bro.
You already touched on everything, bro. So I'm gonna touch on this defense, bro. I am disappointed in this defense. Defense is supposed to be the identity of this team, and this defense has been failing us. A lot of y'all out there want to make excuses where they had so much to do because they've been carrying the offense all year. That is an excuse that is weak, and we are not accepting that. We're not in the excuse business. So let me just get that on my chest first. Second, you get paid when you play defense. You get paid to stop the opposing team. It don't say you have to stop them. You only stop them when the situation favors you. It doesn't work like that. You know what I'm saying, Q? But come on,
Yes,
hold
sir.
on, I'm powerful. You know, it don't work like that, man. The defense.
Uh-oh. You still there, Randolph? You got cut off, man. All right, Randolph got cut off, man. He was about to go into it, and they said, hold on, we got to slow him down, man. He getting a little too buck. His phone went black. Randolph, pop back in, bro. I can't hear you, man. Pop back in when you get a chance, bro. He's about to go off on the defense. Shout out to my brother, Randolph. All right. Any family members that won't chime in, man, please feel free to hit the link. It's pinned to the chat, man. Please come on in. And Randolph makes a good point about that, man, about the defense. Supposed to step it up, man, and really scoring, what was it, 24-3 in the first quarter against the Vikings. That's not very good. But if you look at it from game to game, there's been what we would term as slippage, to kind of put it lightly and real lightly. There's no, you can't deny there is slippage, a lot of slippage going on with the Saints defense. Like that allowing 24 points in the first half of the Vikings game was ridiculous. And it's also very ridiculous. The offense is, with all this money pent into it, aren't able to consistently move the ball despite all of the weapons. That's the thing. The fallback option to that is injuries. Well, we have injuries. That's why we can't. That's the simple explanation. People are not going for that because these guys, we had Michael Thomas healthy for 10 weeks. Rashid Shaheed, Chris Olave, Taysom Hill, Derek Carr in and out because he gets, he takes hits that he shouldn't take. But in the end, Randolph's right, man. He's absolutely right. The defense can be an excuse with the defense, especially last game, allowing 24 points in one half of play, man. They stopped one touchdown there. That changes the dynamic of the game. They did do a better job in the second half, but we all know it's 60 minutes, right, fam? All right, so Hemisphere is about to chime in, man. Shout out to Hemisphere. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, Q. How you doing? You hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Well, it's good to be back on your show. I know it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a minute, bro. It's good to hear from you. Everything going good with you, my friend?
Oh yeah, I'm doing good, man. Just got on vacation, trying to enjoy it. But I got a headache, man, watching this team. Oh my god. So I was looking at a graph earlier today. I think Off the Bench had a thing on it, and Deuce Wyndham, another podcaster for the Saints, had a show on it, and it has Pete Carmichael dead last in offensive coordinator play calling. Dead last in the league, 32. I listened to Under the Dome with Paul Rose. Him and that guy pretty much called out not just the coaching staff, but everybody on the team. Everybody. If Mickey Loomis does not do anything for 2024 and bring these cast of characters back, I'm not supporting it at all. This is tough to watch. Last week was we've seen that before against the Bucks. Them go out in the field and made a duck like that. Truth be told, even under Sean Payton era, right at the end, New Orleans has been struggling for a long, long time. And it's just now within these last few years, in my mind, it has come to a light. This is not a brain of ball. You got Michael Thomas and Olave now having off the field issues with the law. So the frustration is also in the locker room. These guys are very competitive and they want to win. Even getting into the playoffs this year with the way that this team has performed is just not good enough. Or to bring these people back for 2024. You got a $105 million or $150 million quarterback that's playing like a first-year rookie. I would expect Jake Hayner to go out there and make the mistakes that Carr is making. He's not reading the field like you have said. It's just a lot of issues. And I believe I believe the locker room is starting to get divided, especially on offense, because they don't want to play with Carr, because they already know he's not going to go out there and be efficient with the ball. So I guess we're just going to have to stomach out and hope that Mickey and them does the right thing. But being a Saints fan, as long as I know, and you know as well as I do, things ain't going to change over the night. So whenever the day after the season ended, there ain't going to be any changes right away. They're going to milk it and wait for about a month or so, and then, maybe make a change. Or they probably going to keep DA for another year. Just tell them, say, well, just go and get you some, make changes with the coaching staff. Well, that might be the case, but I feel like that's not going to help the team at all. DA is more of a coordinator. He is not an offensive head coach. He does not know. He's not a leader of men. He has expressed his view on the team in the conferences that I have seen, that he holds the defense more accountable than he does with the offense, even though they have asked him straight up about the offense, and he switches the narrative to the defense. So he avoids it and saying, oh, I got Carmichael over there. That's his problem. My problem is the defense. He called the defense coordinator position or his play calling his baby. Well, your baby has been failing you for the past month. And it finally just collapsed on him last week against Minnesota. So this week we got, changes are coming, but it's not limited to the bye week. So we're not going to see any changes. He's not going to get Carmichael out of there. He's not going to do anything with Derek Carr. He's going to keep Derek Carr in there. He's going to roll out with what he's got. And we just going to have to stomach it for the rest of the year. I have zero confidence in this team, this coaching staff, and I'm very, very disappointed in the leadership that's sitting on top of the team. I'm telling you, Q, if Mickey Loomis does not make a change at head coaching position or anything, like I said in the chat, I will not support them. And I've been a Saints fan all my life. And I'm sorry to say that, but I hate it. I can't stand it. I can't stand sad ball. Can't stand watching this sorry, pathetic team play, even though they are 5-5 and sitting on top of the division. The rest of the teams that's inside the division sucks, just like we suck. But that still does not change the fact that the, the product on the field sucks, and we know we better than that. The whole the talent on the team is not being used properly, and it's a lot better than the 5-5 record. The 5-5 record signifies the bad coaching that is on this team. Period.
All
So
right.
it's on us. It's on us as Saints fans to call them out. Don't buy their jerseys. Don't even buy their tickets. None of that. Don't even support them. And you just keep doing what you've been doing, Q. And I keep doing what I do. Call them out every chance you get. You just see through the bullshit. I feel like I'm probably not the only one that feels the way I do, but it is what it is. I'm sorry to say it, but I'm tired of seeing sad ball. Pathetic.
Yeah, it's tough to watch Hemisphere, man. Once again, I thank you for your thoughts, man. Much love to you, brother, and appreciate it. And who that to you, my man.
Who that, man?
All right, that's Hemisphere, man. Letting it be known, man. Hemisphere is upset. He sound like a lot of the Who that family members, man. But hey, family, aren't you guys happy that you're 5-5? Let me remind the Who that Nation here. And yeah, maybe I should bring Mickey in to talk about it. Everybody likes to hear from Mickey. They don't want to hear from Dennis Allen right now. But how about Mickey? Would you like to hear from Mickey as he tells you, that you're not in such a dire straits right now? You're 5-5. You're sitting on top of the NFC South. Let's hear it, Mickey. Could you explain to us so we can calm the family members down?
Oh, well, hold on now. Let me. Well, I just want to say, we're currently, right now, we're 5-5. We had a bad loss. That's what it was. It was just a bad loss. Don't let it get you down. Just keep giving us the money. I mean, just keep giving us your support. And I promise you, we're going to turn this thing around. Change is coming. I want to tell you something. That's an old song I used to listen to. Change gonna come. But listen, I'm not going to sing it. Right? I'm not here to sing. I mean, I'll just let you guys know we're 5-5. I was on top of the NFC South. I'm telling you, we good. We're all right. We're going to come out the bye week, and we will beat the Atlanta Falcons. We will beat them. So you guys just chill. Take a chill pill. That's the hip verbiage right now. You gotta stop the cap. Take a chill pill. And we're gonna be fine. We're gonna turn this thing around. I'm going. Eat my clam chowder right now. All right, so that's all I got.
All right, thank you, Mickey. Appreciate you, bro, for calming us down. Thank you, Mickey. Shout out to Mickey. All right, Mickey's reminding us that we're not such dire straits. That we're at 5-5, sitting on top of the NFC South right now. So, there you go. All right, let's bring in Queen Barbara. Barbara, how you doing, Queen?
I'm doing good, Q. How you doing today?
Doing wonderful. We just got you talking to Mickey Loomis, and he just helped me calm down right now. And I just wanted to, he shared it with the rest of
Q,
the nation. Mm-hmm.
yo, Mickey is on point. I gotta tell you. But what I got to say, especially when we talking about the defense, if you go back to the Texans game, when we never really were in that game, and it seemed like the defense slept walk through it. Okay, and I was watching during the Jacksonville game before a snap was even made. Before anything happened on the field, while the team was standing waiting to come on the field, did you notice their body language?
Yep.
They looked like a person who's getting up in the morning and slogging off to a job that they hate.
Yes,
And
indeed.
that hasn't changed. The quality of energy surrounding that team, especially their defense, hasn't changed. And I'm wondering what the hell happened, you know, for the drop off from the New England game and then to the Houston game, and everything's totally gone to heck since Jacksonville. I don't know what's going on, but I know the quality of energy around this team is stinking. That needs to change right now, right now.
Absolutely, Barbara. You, yeah, and like you spot on because like we just made we talked about two of our three starting wide receivers have recently take trips to jail. They've done jail, in and out the jail because of frustrations around the team. Chris Olave was caught speeding through Kenner, and then Michael Thomas obviously frustrated. I'm thinking if the Saints are playing better and they're winning, none of these occurrences happen. But this is a side effect of frustration that's going on in the building because this is not the regular behavior of our people here to be doing this type of nonsense stuff. So it's definitely frustrating. We're frustrated outside watching this frustrated team. I can only imagine what they feel inside the building.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all I got to offer today, Q. Thank you very much for letting me on. And who that?
All right, thank you, Queen Barbara. Always good to hear the talk to Barbara. She's such a nice person, man, and always intelligent. Always dropping some great science on us. Appreciate you, Queen. Much love to all our queens, man. Let me give a shout out to all the ladies out there, man. Much love to y'all. Appreciate y'all for the support, man. This is true, man. This is very true that we watching frustrated teams here operating, and it is definitely that. So, do they change this thing? That's the focal point going into, as we move through the bye week into preparation against the Atlanta Falcons, which is obviously it's going to be a big game insofar as us. This game has some weight with it because Atlanta's sitting right behind the Saints, and a loss could help shift things a bit because you got Tampa Bay and all of them are lining up their game behind us. I want to say in the NFC South, stuff has to change, man. So the Saints come out and get the W. They beat the Vikings. Everything changes. We go into the game with high energy, but it's just so much so. It's just having it's like a governor on your car. It's governed because you want to have that excitement. You want to be able to have that excitable energy going forward, saying, yeah, the team is this, that, and the third. And then the governor on the team is like Dennis Allen. Then you realize that, man, my head coach is Dennis Allen, which means that he's going to, basically smother a lot of what they can do because his lack of ability as a head coach to be able to step in when things are going the wrong direction and make something happen. He doesn't do it. He will allow things to go all the way down and sometimes before he makes an adjustment. It's really ridiculous. Like we've gotten to this point, like we're showing on screen right now, and this is from Steve Patton. This is what a lot of the family members are referring to right here. Is this is a post that he sent out, and this is from basically about the play calling ratings. There's a lot of people talking about that Carmichael, least creative play caller right now in the game. Let me share this one with y'all. The play caller screen does not factor in the RPO's play action motion or screens to see these easy buttons correlate with the model's output is cool to see. And you're seeing how lowly ranked Pete Carmichael's offense is. And you had plenty enough time to be able to kind of look at or have a sample size serving of Pete Carmichael's offense up to this point. So we have statistics behind it now that are kind of fortify that point that this offense is not very good. Anytime you have Alvin Kamara, like often when they do put AK-41 in front of the presser, he'll get up there and he'll make comments and they'll talk about the running game and this, that, and third, and how he, and you'll hear him regularly say that he goes to Pete Carmichael and asks about running or getting a running play his way. It's just to me, that's really fascinating that Alvin Kamara has to go to Pete Carmichael to get him to run the football. Can you believe that? Alvin Kamara is arguably your best player on on your entire offense. Without him, the offense, he's such a huge part of the Saints offense, productive wise. It's hard pressed to, reproduce what he does when he's not there. Everything changes a bit because not too many people can do what he does out there. He does it all. He runs, he catches, he's phenomenal. So, but for Pete Carmichael to have a player like Alvin Kamara and you severely underutilize him, that's a comedy. That's a joke that he has to go to him to request that he helps or that he has to have more running plays. So I don't know what to say about Pete Carmichael except that he's not doing a very good job. He's not doing a very good job at all. Shout out to my guy Daniel. Shout out to my boy Danicus is in the building. Tyrone, shout out to you, bro. Says no, Big Q. When Saints pick up Carr, I told you in the chat, Carr is not it. I seen this coming. What's that? You did say that, Tyrone. I remember you saying it about Carr. But listen, to the point to other people, while people were looking at Carr, a lot of the film, because we looking at Carr, I was like, let me go and look at this dude and see what he's about. And we was able to look at him. He wasn't doing all this stuff like looking at half the field. He was actually going through his progressions there. I mean, that's probably one of the least things you can look at when you paying a guy $150 million to be your quarterback, and he comes in here and he don't even go through progressions. Like every week, he's staring guys down or going through half the progressions, and he's like, "I'm really working. I'm doing, I do what I do. I tell Chris Olabi, I call Chris Olabi, I FaceTime him. I said, hey, listen, I'm working hard. We kind of did this thing. My face my phone started messing up, so I got off the phone with him. I called Mike Thomas. I said, Mike, listen, trying to do better, trying to fix this all up. I'm gonna make sure I do this. I'm gonna do that. Listen, how about we go out, go get some tacos, and you want to eat? No, So after that, he said no. So I said, let me go look at 22. Sat down, talked about it. Wife came in, said, hey, you need a haircut? I said, no. Well, I'm all right. I just put on a hat. So she left. I said, start studying again. Turn around, got up, went outside, look, sat down, turned around, looked at the sky, meditated a little bit, got up, got in my car, left, went to the facility, seen Dennis Allen, walked past him. Seemed like he was mad at me. It's all cool, it's all good. Sat down, desk, looked, right, seen offensive lineman practicing, running back, Alvin Kamara over there. Said, hey, Alvin, gonna have to make sure we get this together. We're gonna fix this. Turn around, did this. And then, bowl fell out the shelf, picked it up, put it back in the shelf. You know what I'm saying? Went outside, car was on flat, called AAA, got it, then turned around, went back, sat down, looked around, see, what I need to do, fixed it, got on my phone, called the fullback, Adam Prentice, say, hey, why you not running the ball, block for me, he says, I don't know. So I got off the phone with him, called Jimmy Graham, said, Jimmy, you know what's going on, I'm feeling kind of low. Can I have a plane ride? Can I get an airplane? So I'm feeling a little low. Can I fly in your plane? Jimmy said, no, I ain't feel like it. I said, okay, cool. Well, I'm, so turned around, went back home, sat down, watched TV in the day. So, I mean, it's just fascinating, man. I go through all that just to say, you don't really have any answers of what he's saying. I really do think Derek Carr is working harder, but the thing is not so much on his play ability. Derek Carr needs to do the things that regular quarterbacks do, which is cycle through your entire progression, bro. Seriously, bro. I'm telling you, that's most of your problem right there, bro. And they might have people that's extremely expensive, but at the end of the day, that's there that is advising, but that is the correct advice to give Derek Carr. Derek Carr, listen, man, go through your progressions. Cycle through your progressions. Don't rush through them, because I've seen film where you'll rush through them and then go to the check down. That is not cycling through your progressions. Cycling through means taking your time, diligently going through your progressions while you have a clock in your head and seeing what you like. And if you don't see what you like, either check it down, or if you got some green in front of you, take off and run and slide. But the big point of Derek Carr's game is he's not a dumb quarterback. He's not that. It's the fact that he's not fundamental. That's the problem. He's not going through progressions, man. He's not. He's seeing half the field, and the other half is the wide open wide receiver streaking down the field for a touchdown. And then Jameis gets out there. Well, Q, how could Jameis get out there and throw a touchdown? Because Jameis looking at the entire field. He sees the streaking wide receiver where Carr doesn't, because Carr is not looking to that side of the field. He looks left and centers, and then centers back to left, throw the pass or checks it down. He doesn't see half the film. According to the footage, the 22, you can look on there and watch him do it. He does it all the time. He doesn't see the whole field, and that's why he's struggling. He's not seeing the entire field. All right, so anyway, with that being said, fam, listen, it is what it is. Rock says, y'all better pluck them Falcons and Big Low. Yeah, we're going to be talking to Low real soon. It's supposed to be a NFC South roundtable coming up soon, man. We're trying to get the schedule together. Low is getting it together, so it's supposed to be something we're supposed to do somewhere in this block. So that'll be coming up pretty soon, probably sometimes next week. Yeah, where is Jimmy Graham? Jimmy Graham is, according to Dennis Allen, he's a true professional that he's not active. Jimmy Graham comes to the Saints. He's nowhere to be found. Adam Prentice is activated, but Jimmy Graham is not. And you don't even use Adam Prentice. So make sense. So at some point, that's like the KYP philosophy, know your personnel, which they do not. That's why it looks like that. It looks like that. Rock says, please anybody but the Falcons win the South. Yeah, the Saints, we're so topsy-turvy, so up and down, man. I just can't bet on them that much. I really can't, because you don't know which person is going to be showing up for the game. You don't know who's going to be showing up, and that's something that we have to watch out for. So anyway, with that being said, listen, I appreciate all of our callers chiming in on this episode of the show. It's noon. We're going to get out on that. But listen, man, thank y'all for chiming in. All of the hosts, thank y'all for the super chats and the cash apps and all that, and all of the great support that you guys have been giving. We're going to continue to do this stuff, man, and move forward. I think tomorrow we off, but I might be popping up on a live screen at 12 o'clock for our customary time where we pop up for, we'll be doing a live play-by-play for the 12 o'clock game tomorrow on this channel. So we'll probably do that and kick it as well. So with that being said, man, I'm gonna pop out on that. Listen, I appreciate all the family members for chiming in on today's show. Saturday morning Saints Talk, Coffee with Q, man. I hope y'all have a rest of y'all day, a fantastic rest of y'all day. A lot of really good college football is going to be played today. LSU Tulane is currently playing. So it's going to be a fun day of football, college style. And of course, later on tonight, the Pelicans do match up against the Minnesota Timberwolves in the Smoothie King Center. The Pelicans currently on the 2-game winning streak. We'll be recapping that thing later on tonight as well. So with that being said, I'm out. Much love to the fam. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a Felp. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your chain for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, money like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the P-R-O Media Network.
Who that Platforms store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. The Who That